Hey everyone, my name is Carlo Libertini and thank you for joining me tonight on Let's Talk Live on Music Marketing TV. I'm your host and I'm just so happy to be here. If you're able to join me live tonight, great. Thank you for your time. If you can't, don't worry. You can join us later on when you have the time to check out this video and leave your creative comments below. So tonight we're going to be looking at a application that is kind of near and dear to my heart. I'm talking about Sound Forge here by the great folks at MAGIX. Now, I've actually been using MAGIX software, believe it or not, since 2002. When I logged in to download my copy, all my pre-registered applications were there, and there I was. I have been a faithful user since 2002, and we are still rocking it. That is how amazing the software is and everything that MAGIX makes. So let's get into some of our please and thank yous before we start kicking some tires. Links below in the description. Visit our brand page. There's a lot of great promotions going on right now. In fact, I believe there is a 25% off sale at the time of this live stream. So visit the links below, check that out, download a demo today, or just do yourself a favor and pick it up. And while you're at it, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe. Become part of our music marketing family today and get access for, are you ready for this? Over 1,000 pro audio professional tutorials free for you to enjoy and watch on countless amazing applications like Sound Forge here. Sound Forge 16 is the version that we're going to be looking at here by the great folks at MAGIX. All right, so let's go back to our home screen. This is Sound Forge, the latest version 16. Now I'm using Sound Forge Pro 16. And there are different versions of it. Maybe we'll get to some of that in just a moment. But when you first launch Sound Forge, you're going to be greeted with the interactive tutorials page. Now, I have always loved this because, you know, I'm the kind of person that does take the time to read. I love this stuff, getting to know it. Now, yeah, I do want to jump in and start, you know, throwing some faders and pushing some buttons. That's always fun too. But check it out. If at any time you have a question, you can actually just select any one of these topics and it'll walk you through how to do it and get the most out of it. And if you don't see the screen, it's here under help. Just go to interactive tutorials right there. All right. Now what you're looking at here is the application itself. Now it doesn't start like this. In fact, why don't I come up to view? I think this is really important. Let's go to default layout. All right. So this is our default layout. In fact, let me close my waveform. It's a beautiful way to work. What we're looking at here is a completely customizable space, a workflow for us. Notice when you come up to layouts, we have some pre-created ones. Let's say I'm doing just strictly audio editing. Here's one to help you get started. All right. And as you can see, there's so much more. There's even stereo recording. There's also, if in case you haven't noticed, 5.1 video. You could do multi-track editing with this for surround sound as well as stereo and mono tracks. Everything from podcasts to surround sound, all within Sound Forge 16 here. All right, and let's get into a few more. Now you can see that to create one, you could start with the default layout, simply come up to view and choose, let's say I want some loudness meters. And let's say I wanted to add my Explorer. You can drag and drop these in anywhere at any time. And you can see how they can dock and they're completely resizable. So you can make it work for you. And that's what I love about the advantages and the expertise that's built into Sound Forge is that once you customize your workflow, you don't have to spend time thinking about where is this or where is that. Everything that you want for that project that day is ready for you on your own desktop. Now, I've created a couple myself. Here's one for editing. Now, I like, here we have to the left, we have our, it's kind of like a table of contents. And I like the workflow here as well. For example, there's an import tab where you can start a new project, choose the sample rate, bit rate, and choose OK. And there we are, ready to record. Now, a little bit about Sound Forge is it really excels at editing and effects, cleaning audio, and mastering. So if you were recording, for example, a podcast right into here, then in the same cohesive environment, you can begin to do some deplosive, some mouth declicks, just some limiting and some finalizing, all within this one environment, and then export your files. And we'll get to that. Okay, so there's import. Here's a tab for cleaning to help you get started. There's one for effects, editing options, mastering, then some customizable user ones, and finalizing, exporting your work. Everything from just generally saving your work to YouTube standards, Spotify, SoundCloud, even audiobook standards, ACX, and so on. Really great. So very professional and very capable for whatever you're working on. Now, the new version here, it's got new dynamic EQ features, which I really like. Has loudness visualization, which I have right here. You can see the window right here, loudness meter. I typically have gotten used to working with loudness meters because the standardized industry values, I feel, have helped me. I can now trust what I'm seeing for my deliverables every time. So that meter, personally speaking, is indispensable. There's also multi-channel. I talked about multi-channel optimized workflow. And it also, get this, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, I brought up a versions comparison page right here. You could see that you can also use third-party plugins. Now, these are the 3 versions. You've got Audio Studio, you got Pro, and Suite. Now, here, the one that I'm using, Pro, comes with iZotope, Ozone Elements, and RX 8 Elements. I mean, what more do you need for mastering and cleaning up your audio right there? It's bundled in. But the Suite version right here, 16, comes with Spectral Layers, Melodyne 5, an application near and dear to my heart too. Ozone, love it. RX, love it. I mean, my favorite applications, Melodyne, Ozone 9, and RX. All here, and time shifting. So they're very flexible, and they can always be upgraded as you need them. Plus, there also is a Mac version and a Windows version too, in case you were wondering. All right. So whatever operating system you are on, Sound Forge Pro will definitely meet you there. 32-channel audio support, VST engines, ARA2 support, and recording up to 64-bit, 768 kilohertz. Ultra pristine here. All right. So we talked about layouts. We talked about some of the new advantages and what's included. And you can tell from my enthusiasm that I really do have a lot of love for this application, and with just cause. I mean, it's what's not to love, right? So let's jump right in. Let's say in a real world working scenario, we could start with importing audio. Let's say I'm working on a project or somebody sends me some files to clean up. For example, I got an example here. Let's bring in some audio. Now you could record audio, drag and drop from any file browser, but you can see I have my Explorer right here. I'm just going to drag one, bring it in, bang. Let's take a listen now. Now, if you're at home listening on headphones, you'll probably be able to hear some of the anomalies that I'm going to target in this file a little bit better. But if not, it's the process I really want to highlight too. Let's take a listen to this. It's a bass guitar track that needs a little bit of help. We can test our audio at home. There's a little bit of some static noise in there. Now, hopefully that audio is coming through, but if it's not, don't worry. It is the process we're going to highlight here. Steps, functions, the available tools. We're going to cover quite a bit, and I know we can't get to everything, but we are going to cover quite a bit. So I hear some static in there, probably a dirty guitar jack, or maybe, you know, some amp noise, unwanted amp noise, but also there's some kind of clicking noises in there too. Now, because I mentioned that iZotope RX is included with this, I mean, what more do you need? You can actually come up to the cleaning tab now, and you can see there we have de-click, de-clip, de-hum, de-noise, it's noise gating even, de-hisser, de-clipper. It's all right there under cleaning. And you can actually target what you'd like to do with the plugin browser window here that I have also in my workflow. This is the plugin browser. You can direct it to wherever your plugins are. I'm directing it to my third-party VST folders right now. Now, it does come with Ozone 9 elements and RX 8 elements. I do have the pro version of those because obviously it's what I do for a living. And so I'm going to be using those. But the ones that you're going to get are equally amazing, trust me. All right, let's get into some of this. So let's say we wanted to now start cleaning this audio. We could simply choose one of these here. And if you're using your preset browser here like I'm doing, let's find something like D-Click. Double click on it and there. Now you can use any plugin this way, right here into your workflow. I'll give you a little tip though. See the starting, the loop markers? I'm going to bring it right to the beginning so I don't have to listen to the first couple of seconds of empty space. Now, we could choose a preset, create a preset if we wanted, or just, we can manipulate the utility here until we get what we want to hear. I'm going to preview it now. Nice. Now, what I'm going to do here is, let's say that I wanted to target just a zone here. I can select a range of audio and it'll only process that region. In fact, here's another little tip for you when I'm using D-Click here. Sometimes what I like to do is I'll output just the clicks only to see and hear specifically what's going to be affected. So here's a little trick for you. Let's do this. I'll press OK, and it's going to commit the plugin now right onto our graphical display here, our workspace. Look at that. Now, all of this are very fast transient noise elements that aren't related to the music. This actually helps smooth out audio quite a bit. You might have to listen carefully, but again, it's the process we're highlighting. Here's a couple of big ones right here. Here's a big one right here. Oh, you hear that? It's just like a digital clip. Yeah. So this is the junk we're going to remove. Let me undo that. And if you like what we did, then to commit, all we have to do is, let me select a smaller range here just for this example. I'll select a smaller range right about there and choose OK. And now we committed here. You can see the progress bar. So what are we doing? We're already cleaning up our audio. I just dragged this bass guitar in there. I heard what needed to be fixed. I started with some declicking because there was some pops in there that were bothering me. But what about the noise? Well, we could do some denoise, or you could even grab the new EQ. Let's go to an effect now, actually. And let's open up the modern EQ. Now, this is from MAGIX here. It's an amazing EQ. Let's go back to the beginning of this file, and I'll just choose, let's just do a low pass, a really steep one at about -24. Yeah, okay. And now in real time, I'm going to adjust these parameters and stop when it sounds good. I'm going to try to erase some of that high frequency hiss that I'm hearing. I'm going to just press preview. And while it's playing in real time, did you hear that? If you listen really closely, the static disappeared. Here's the static. Lightly in the background. Let's bring it in. Perfectly clean. Now, while it's playing, I can bypass it to A/B my work. And then when you're done, just choose OK. Let's go back to, and just choose OK. It's going to render the whole file, and there. We have successfully cleaned this audio track. And I say audio track because this could be anything. It could be vocals, guitars, violins, a surround sound mix, anything at all. If you hear something and you need to target it, then Sound Forge here, version 16 that we're using tonight, is your ticket to do that. You can zoom in. Look at this. Get pinpoint accuracy. As easy as that. You could actually go in there and just tweak it to your heart's content and really bring out the intended performance and prepare it for your mixing stage. All right, so that's a little bit about cleaning there. Okay? Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me in the chat room. If you're here with me live tonight, it does mean so much to us, all of us at Music Marketing, and of course, MAGIX. And, we do this because we truly love it. So, and we know that your time is special too. So we really appreciate that. Keep the chat going. And thank you. All right, let's get on to how about some of the more unique tools? Let me close this. Now, if you wanted to save this, just come up to export. And again, save as. You can save as. You can even burn it to CD. I like that. I'm a little retro that way. or save it as a YouTube file. It'll ask you where it wants to go, and it'll create it for you. Because don't forget, built into Sound Forge here are loudness standards. So as we're talking about here with loudness meters, because YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, they all have their own unique loudness standard. So SoundForge makes it easy. Rather than having to go in and set those standards manually, you know when you select Spotify, whatever it is that you're going to export now will meet their standard requirements. That is so easy, intuitive, and it's just the way it's supposed to be. The more technologically amazing things are, the more easier I feel it should be, and this proves it for you. Thank you, SoundForge. Let me close the file and let's bring in something new. Let's go to our vocal detection sample. Now, I bring this in because another one of my favorite little, it's not even little, it's just really cool, is that now you can detect human voices now within audio. And this is to help you target, again, increase your workflow and your work speed. Let's take a listen to here. Here we've got an organ. And here we have a singer. All right. Now check this out. Right here is a little icon, little Pac-Man type icon called Toggle Vocal Activity Detection. When I activate this, it's going to analyze it and bang. Now these colors are also customizable. Notice everywhere where the human voice is detected is now the color red, which is what we have it set. Here under options and preferences, go to wave color. And here you can set the parameters for your favorite colors if you want to do it that way. All right, and here's our organ. You can see there's a glissando right here. Let's check this out, right? Yeah. Okay, so if you're curious about something, here you go. Let's listen to what's going on here. All right, so it's not a human voice, but it's not totally red, is it? So this is the detect voice capability built into this. And I like this because, if you're working with just voice and there's other extraneous, sounds going on, this could help you target those quickly. And another one is waveform color. Let me shut this off and bring in a waveform color example. This is the same synth. Now, what we can do here is, because this is musical note, musical energy, you can actually assign colors to lower notes all the way up to higher frequency values. Check this out. And you do that with the next one here called toggle wave coloring. When I activate that, it's going to scan the file. And again, all these colors are customizable. So in this example, the green is the lower notes and the blue is the higher notes. Let's do that again. That was good. So the blue color is indicating higher note values because we're colorizing the frequencies, if you will. Higher chord, green is the lower chord because that's the color we have set under options and preferences. There. Again, a really cool advantage, a workflow enhancement, if you will. All right. We got some chat going on there. I know, and we're just getting started. Speaking of working with voice, why don't we do a little bit with that now? I created a file here. I've got a voiceover test. I'm going to just bring it in. Now, in a real-world working scenario, all you'd have to do is create a new file, and under your audio preferences, make sure you're choosing your audio interface, of course. It's very standard practice. Let me go to Workspace here. You can see you have audio settings, and you choose all that here, your playback and your recording, okay? And hook up your microphone, record your podcast, record your audio, whatever it is, and it doesn't end there. You've got those included cleaning tools, especially the ones from RX and the Isotope family of products, and the ones that come built in with this, plus the EQ and the compressors. All right, guys. Thank you for all your hard work there in the chat room, everyone. Micah, much love to you, bro. Thank you so much. So let's get back to this. Let's take a listen now. Here's a voiceover demo. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name's Carlo Libertini. I've been an audio production engineer for over 2 decades, and I've also been a product specialist utilizing some of today's most cutting-edge software for some of the best companies in the industry. All right, So this is recorded, plain and simple, straight in. Now what do we want to do? We want to clean this up, tighten it up, and we want to finalize it. I'll give you a secret. We talked about here with the workspace and the effects and how we can access your plugin browser. Now, if you're not seeing these windows, remember, come up to View, and they're all right here. You can drag and drop them and lock them into any place you want to create your own Windows layout, okay? But another feature is the plugin chain. This is where it just, again, elevates your whole workflow. Now, what the plugin chain is going to let you do is create a custom chain of plugins, and then just with one button, render the whole file just the way you want it. Now, I actually do this quite a bit. Why? Because if my work, if my recording, if my microphone's the same, my preamp is the same, if I'm creating it that way for continuity with my VO work, then this is a huge advantage. Basically, what it does is it allows you to come up to Add, and you can browse your computer for any effects in the third-party effects, anything at all, and you could create a chain. Like right now, I've got declick going into deplosive. Now, these are included with the Pro version, thanks to Isotope, into a de-esser, and then into a Ozone Vintage Limiter. And then I know that when I render this file now, it's just going to sound great. So again, we added the effects in order. And if you want, you can slide them around and reorder them in any way you want. And you can toggle them on and off if you want to bypass them. So you can have a couple extra ones here. The reason why is because you can preview. Remember this button right here? You don't have to render the audio. Again, I keep saying it. You don't have to render the audio to hear the effects. You can hear it all in real time. Thank you, Sound Forge. Thank you. So this chain that we just created, again, by coming to the plus sign, choosing them all, hitting Add, and then OK, and then rearranging them, toggling them on and off, whatever you want, naming it. I can choose Preview now.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name's Carlo Libertini.
And there you have
I've been an audio production engineer
bypass
for
it.
over 2 decades, and I've also been a product specialist utilizing
This is without the
some
chain.
of today's
Let's
most
bring it back in.
cutting-edge
Ready?
software for some of the best companies in the industry.
There. Let me go to my vintage limiter a little bit, and I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. Let's say in a real world working scenario, I want to tweak this a little bit. There we have it. Now I'm going to choose OK, and it's going to render the file. Okay. Now you can see I've been pushing my computer a little bit too much, but that's okay, because that's what computers are for. And there we have it. So the VO is now done.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me today.
Simple as that. So now I can record it to Sound Forge, whether you're using Windows or Mac, and it becomes a hub for all my production needs. And it does work with multi-tracks of audio too. Surround sound even. It's limitless. VO work, podcast, audiobooks. Oh, perfect example of that would be, let's say, let's go to our Sound Forge Pro help here. And we have a way to minimize the whole application. Check this out. Right here up in the toolbar menu. Right here. Hides the main window and displays the remote transport view. Just like that. The entire application is now minimized to this floating window. So I can now start recording text on my screen, and I can drop in markers whenever I want, letting me know when I want to go back and have to re-edit. Let's say I read the same line 2 or 3 times. Just hit that yellow marker in real time while it's recording, and it's effortless. So now you can actually open up your scripts or anything you want to read, just press record, read it all, and then when you're done, just stop the recording and go back. And there it is, all waiting for you to clean up, finalize, and export. Seamless, really, really seamless. I love that feature, I really do. Speaking of features, let's try something a little fun now. Why stop now? Let's go to, let's look at a stereo file. We've been looking at some mono files. Here's a stereo drum track. Let's take a listen here. Now, there's a lot we can do here. Why don't we demo some of the effects? because not only are we cleaning and restoring audio, but if we wanted to add a little bit of, flair or color, in terms of you got a gate, flanger, expander, even delays. Let's open up the new Wizard Reverb here that's included. This is a new updated one. It's just like really sounds amazing. Let me go to Small Studio. I'll set my mix to about 50%. And remember that tip I told you? I'm going to bring the slider right here where it starts so I don't have to wait about 35 seconds to hear the audio playback. And just in real time, press preview. There you go. Bring up the mix. You can hear it. And then in real time, you can choose different parameters. I like that one. Adjust the mix slider. Let's bypass it in real time. That's without. Let's bring it in. I'm exaggerating this a little bit so, for the effect. And that's the Wizard Effects Modern Reverb. It's just a brilliant sounding reverb. Now, if you use it, I'm using it here on a stereo track, so we're getting a stereo reverb. And there's quite a few to choose from. Look at this. Plus, don't forget, if you tweak it a little bit here, just come up. You can name your own preset and you can save it anytime at all. Let's try another one, actually. Let's close the drums and go to some guitar. Here's a guitar example. Yeah, let's check this out. Love guitar. Oh, yeah. Flanger. Let's do flanger. Bring in the flanger. Oh, I love flangers. Let's try a preset. And you can actually access them here as well. Guitars, let's go to guitar, a preset called guitar. And let's preview it. Remember the trick? I'm going to bring it right up to where it starts and choose preview now. Adjust everything in real time, and when it feels right, just hit OK. Bring the frequency up a little bit. Bypass it. Here's without. Let's bring it in. Oh, I could do this all day. I think Captain America once said that. See if you're listening back there at home. All right. Let's do one more. Oh, yeah. How about this one? We'll do some. I prepared a dobro here. I love dobro. Let's take a listen to this little file. I'll tell you a little secret. Chorus. Put a chorus on a dobro any day, and it just sweetens it up a little bit. Let's go to right about here. Let's bring in a preset. Let's go to strings. And that is a little bit about the chorus right there. So we have, again, built in Ozone 9 elements, which includes quite a bit of modules there. Wave hammer, chorus, compressor, delay. These are the ones that come with it. Plus, don't forget, you can use your own third-party ones, as you can see from my preset browser down here. All right. How are we doing in the chat room? Everybody doing well? Okay. Thanks for sticking with me. All right. Let's get a little bit into recording. We talked about that. All I need to do is come up here and choose New, and bang, and just hit record. As I mentioned before, when you set your audio options, and it's as easy as that, do all your cleaning up. Let's get into some mastering now, because, in a real world working scenario, you got your audio in there, whether you recorded it or you imported it, whatever. You cleaned it up a little bit, maybe added some effects, did some editing, some, some EQing even. And now you want to finalize your work. We could create a preset chain. Again, let's try that. Here's a demo song from my group. oh, actually, hold on a second. Let me close this. And now, when I drag it in, it'll open up a workflow space session to match my stereo track. All right, let's take a listen to this a little bit.
I guess that's the way that I live. Since you said hello to me, then excuse me, then you said goodbye.
Now, one way we can start dealing with this is because Ozone is included with this is to go to your version of Ozone Elements. I am going to be using Ozone Pro here because that's what I use. But Elements is equally powerful. It just has some different elements, obviously, to it. Elements, get it. But again, it's a principle I want to show you. Now, within Ozone here, we could use the Master Assistant, or you can go scroll through some presets if you want. Adaptive Dynamics, you can come here and say, you know what, I just want to do some CD mastering here. And again, let's preview the track. Let me start somewhere right about here and press preview.
Nothing left to give.
Let's bypass it. Ready?
Every now and then I remember when, but I should leave it behind.
Now, don't let the volume change fool you. Yes, it's going to get louder, but you have to listen to all the details.
Don't you know that I'm finally ready to speak my mind?
If you did want to use Master Assistant, which is an amazing technology included with Ozone, we can choose, let's say I wanted a modern feel. Yeah, medium intensity for streaming. Choose Next, preview the audio, and Ozone's going to create a preset for you to get started with using AI, advanced learning here. There's a lot of hard work went into this.
Speak my mind.
And then you can further adjust the balance. You want full tone, more equally balanced, dark or bright. I'll leave it here and choose done. And you can see what it did. Here's the equalizer, equalizer 2, some active dynamics there, and some maximizer. Here's before. Again, watch your ears at home if you're listening to it on headphones, please.
Nothing left to give.
Okay, let's bring it in. Hopefully I didn't crash my computer.
Nothing left to give. Nothing left to give. Every now and then I
bypassed.
When, but it was bypassed. Behind.
It was bypassed, everyone. Okay, it's not bypassed. Here we go.
Nothing left to give.
Nice.
Every now and then I remember when, but I should leave it behind.
Here's bypassed.
At least I hear that you're doing well.
Here's what Master
Don't
Assistant.
you know that I'm finally ready to speak my mind?
And of course, you can go in here and tweak this to your heart's content, all that you want. I can add a little bit more headroom in there and such. And just choose OK. And then obviously, as you can see by the progress bar, Sound Forge is going to take those settings from the Ozone Elements, which is included with the Pro version, and the suite. And there you go. It's been mastered. For this application, for this example, I should say.
Told me you had nothing left to give.
It does sound nice.
Every now and then I remember when, but I should leave it behind.
Okay, I'm going to undo that. You know, depending on your keyboard, it's just simple. Come up to Edit, Undo, and we're back to the starting point. Now, let's go back to our effects plugins and let's try a plugin chain, because that's also another way to finalize your work. Now, you remember we did this with our VO work when I did some podcasting, let's say some VO stuff. And let's say I do have one that I created here, and you'll see it'll be very, very similar to the direct plugin that we put on. And instead, this way, we're using the Sound Forge plugin chain creator to do it. I've got an EQ, dynamic EQ. I've got dynamics here, more dynamics, some low end focus, and a vintage limiter here in the end. Let's preview this. That's starting at the beginning. Let me bring it to right about the first verse-ish, right about there. And there we have it. So it's just another way to master your audio.
Drink and I still cry. I guess that's the way that I live.
Let's go to the dynamic
said
EQ
hello
here.
to me, then excuse me, then you said goodbye.
Never get tired of seeing this. I love it.
Nothing left to give.
Here's before.
Every now and then I remember when, but I should leave it behind.
And here's with
At least
the
I
plug-in
did
chain that we created.
well. Don't you know that I'm finally ready to speak my mind and tell you exactly how it felt?
Now, if you wanted to tweak anything, go right ahead. Let's see, I want to bring my ceiling down a little bit more height here. You could change it from analog to more of a tube feel to modern. Let's try that right now. Let's switch it to modern. Oh, I like it. It's a little brighter.
I still think and I still drink and I still cry.
And then when you're done, and notice I have it all processing in real time here, you can activate and deactivate each one again, bypass them, and you can save your settings, of course. Choose OK, and it should just run it all for us. It's applying the plug-in chain on that from about 30 seconds down to the whole song. And depending on the speed of your computer, obviously, you know, this doesn't take long at all. I mean, it's just about maybe 25 seconds. And look what we're doing, taking a whole 3.5 minute stereo file and adding all of that beautiful pro finalization to it, thanks to what's included here with the Ozone Elements that you get if you buy that version. If we go back to the versions again, you can see that Ozone Elements is included with, look at that, all three. Ozone 9 Elements comes with the studio version, the pro version, and the suite version. But you don't get RX 8 Elements until Studio Pro and the Sound Forge 16 suite. All right, so I'm glad we brought that up. And there we go. Let's take a quick listen there, A-B it. Now I did leave it a little bit of headroom there. I didn't squash it too much on purpose.
I still drink and I still cry. I guess.
And I'm watching my loudness meters.
Since said hello to me, then excuse.
Take a look down here at our loudness meters. All right. And it'll give you an idea of the short term, the loudness range, and the true peaks. And obviously this is a little loud for some deliverables. So you could go in there and manually tweak it. Or, if you've been paying attention, you can now come to export. And if I wanted to upload this to Spotify, all I need to do is choose Spotify. Or I wanted to save my audio to, simply browse it on your computer, press save, and then you will get a loudness standardized version of your track ready for Spotify delivery. In this case, it could be YouTube, it could be SoundCloud, even your audiobook stuff, or just save it or just burn it to CD if you're feeling retro like I do quite often. And talk about deliveries. So, you know, the whole context menu here on the left side, I think it's really great how you could just get quick, easy access. And I find myself literally reaching for these quite often because I like it. It's intuitive. The icons are really cool. And yes, many of them are still located up here in the top context menu. There's a lot you can do here. Don't forget about the instant access to the interactive tutorials. I know we opened with this, but it's important because even myself, sometimes I may be thinking, wait a minute, okay, wait, how do I do it? How do I want to create an acid loop? Well, guess what? Under editing audio, how to create an acid loop. And it'll literally walk you right through it, step by step. Isn't that amazing? 1 of 7 steps. It's just so intuitive. Thank you, MAGIX. Thank you, Sound Forge 16, whether you're using the Pro or the Suite or the Studio, just dive right in and have fun. I know I couldn't cover everything it does tonight, but I wanted to give you some workflow advancements, talk about the cleaning audio, the effects, and how we systematically went down from, pretending, we recorded audio to applying effects chains to finalizing and to even exporting audio. But of course, what I always say is the best way is to always find out for yourself. So visit the links below. Take advantage of these discounted special promotion rates if you're watching this in time to take advantage of those promotions. If not, don't worry. It's worth your investment always. So visit MAGIX today or visit our brand page below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you for your time. It means so much to us. I hope you had fun. My name is Carlo Libertini. Stay busy and stay creative, everyone, and thank you for watching.